Today on the John Ankerberg Show, you will learn how scholars at the new Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. have developed a high-tech Bible curriculum that can be used in the public schools to teach students about the Bible.
What those of us who are involved are trying to do is devise a syllabus, starting with the ninth grade, that will teach the Bible not as a religious text, but as a text that is central to America, and make it clear to the students that what they're studying is an historical document that is of huge significance.
One of the very interesting things about the curriculum is it's approaching making the Bible accessible with an eye to the usefulness of cutting-edge technology in reaching audience. It's thinking about students and how they interact with their textbooks.
The innovation that we are bringing with augmented reality can really change people's perceptions, and it's important not only from a Bible learning standpoint, but I think it can have a larger impact on education as a whole to show people what's possible.
And it's the most delightful professional challenge that any of us have ever faced.
To tell us more about this high-tech Bible curriculum for public schools are Steve Green, president of the 750 Hobby Lobby stores in 47 states, and also the chairman of the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. Second, his wife Jackie, who is co-founder of the museum. And third is Carrie Summers, president of the Museum of the Bible. Join us for this special edition of the John Ankerberg Show. Welcome to our program. I'm John Ankerberg. Thanks for joining me today. As you just heard, we've got three wonderful guests with us, and we're talking about the Museum of the Bible that is being built and is going to open November 17th in Washington, D.C. My guests are Steve Green, who's the president of the Hobby Lobby stores, and he is chairman of the Museum of the Bible. His wife, Jackie, who's co-founder of the museum, and we've got Carrie Summers, who's the president of the Museum of the Bible. And folks, this week I want to talk about the fact that we're going to have millions of people coming to the museum here in America from all over the world. And in fact, Carrie, you were telling me during the break here that how many young people are planning on coming already this next year? You were talking about the reservations that have already been made.
Yeah, these are reservations. There's group reservations, and we're still months away from opening. We have over 1,000. So by the time we open, it'll be a couple thousand, at least groups. And then we're anticipating for 2018 about 10,000 youth that are coming through various youth organizations. And so it'll be a hopping place.
It'll be a hopping place. And but Steve, even though millions of people are going to come, and they're going to come from all over the world, you are concerned with the fact that you know that there are some poor people in countries that they're not going to be able to come to America. They would love to, but they can't, okay? And so you've come up with an idea of taking the museum to these folks. And explain this.
What had happened is our collection was growing. And we had this collection in our closet not doing us any good. We bought the items that we acquired because we wanted to tell this book story. So the idea came about to build a traveling exhibit so that while we're looking for a location, this is before we even had a location or knew when we would be opening a museum, we wanted to build a traveling exhibit so we could start telling the story that the artifacts that we had, the incredible story that they told, we could start telling it. So we opened a traveling exhibit in Oklahoma City, where our corporate office is based, in 2011, and celebrating the 400th anniversary of the King James Version of the Bible. That exhibit traveled to 6 different locations around the U.S., and that provided opportunities for us to do some international exhibits. The first international exhibit was at the Vatican in 2012. We called it Verbum Domini, which means Word of the Lord. Celebrating a lecture that a Pope had given where he encourages Catholics to read their Bibles. And so that opened the door for the international exhibits that we have done. And one of the ways that I have thought about it is that millions of people, as you say, will come to the museum in Washington, D.C., but there will be many more millions that will never make it to Washington, D.C. So the traveling exhibits are an opportunity for us to take this book story to the people. we can't be in every location, but as opportunities open and as funding is put in place, and we are excited about being able to share this book story with people all over the world.
I'm amazed at how popular your idea has become. I mean, you've had fantastic success before the museums even opened up. And Carrie, share with the people some of the places that have opened up, and you've already brought the exhibit to them.
Yeah, it's been really remarkable. It was really a major museum on wheels. But through that, because of the creativity of it, we were able to go into other countries and other institutions, with the first one being the Vatican, and that was in 2012.
How did that door open up even?
They saw the exhibits in the States that we were doing, and they said, wow, that would be good. We would accept that. And we built one, what was called Verma Domini 1, Word of the Lord, and it opened. We had in that one about 70,000 people went through. But then we were invited back 2 years later. We enlarged it, and we had 165,000 people come through from 100 countries. So what that gave us is a test lab. What did people like? What didn't they like? If they were from Argentina, what did they like, didn't like? So it gave us great, great information into what we were getting ready to do in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and then you went to Israel.
We went to Israel, and the slides that you're seeing on the screen is the exhibit in the Bible Land Museum in Israel. And one of the slides you're looking at now is Benjamin Netanyahu looking at one of the items that was going to be unveiled at the museum the night before we unveiled it. And that was called The Jewish Roots of Christianity. The attendance was heavy residents of Israel, which were both Arab and Jewish residents, and tourists, of course, but primarily the residents. And so it gave us some great insights into understanding what did the Jewish world want, what did the Arab world want, Arab Christian world, and even many Muslims came because it was non-threatening. It was just the history of Judaism and Christianity, and they actually loved it.
Yeah, and because you guys have built this beautiful, gorgeous, huge museum in the center of Washington, D.C., right next to the Capitol and the Space Museum and so on, other museums around the world that would like to feature some of their items are coming to you, and you become friends with them. They've even approached you. And so lots of opportunities have opened up, and you are sharing with them. And this is also where you've got to share with the Vatican, and then they've opened up doors, and you went to Havana, Cuba, for Pete's sake. What happened down there?
We use a cliche, it's a God story. In this case, it really is a God story. Pope Benedict at the time was the Pope. He went on his famous trip to Cuba and announced to the leadership at a luncheon that one day he was hoping that the exhibit, that he woke up every morning in his bedroom and looked out onto the plaza, St. Peter's Square. He would see this exhibit, the banners of this exhibit. He said he hoped one day that maybe that organizer of that could bring it to Cuba. And the word got back to us on that, and we said, well, you know, if the Pope is plugging it, we need to at least look into it. But we already had our letters written. You know, dear Pope, we tried, it didn't work. But I went down, and it was an amazing thing that I saw happening there. This was the Catholic Church coming together with the Protestant Church to pull this off, which was very, very unusual. And the pictures you're looking at are from the grand opening night of that event, where they combined their efforts. First time in decades, they said, they've ever worked together. And in 30 days, we had over 30,000 people come through the exhibit. The last 3 nights, we closed at 2 in the morning. People were in line. And so it gave us that emphasis then 2 years later to come back and do another one in Santiago, Cuba. Same thing happened, 10-hour drive from Havana, same thing happened. People lined up, and they loved it.
Yeah. If you can, tell a few of the secrets about England. We've got a lot of folks in England watching right now. Some fabulous things are happening in England. I don't know all that you can share, but you're going to be bringing the exhibits to London. Tell me about what you can tell me.
Yeah, we traditionally are looking all over the world for locations to do exhibits and places that we think they would be accepted and have impact. So London was on our hit list for forever. And we started asking some questions of people who are in the market, who know the real estate market. And one thing led to another, purely, we call it coincidental, that he showed us a church that was not being used. It was open, and they had 8 parishioners, built in 1714. It's where Charles Dickens' parents were married. And his idea was, maybe you could use this. Smaller than what we were looking at. We got to thinking about it, and we said, you know what, this may be something we could do. And then they said, well, we have another church in Edinburgh. Oh, and there's another one in Oxford. And then things just started spinning because one of our biggest challenges is finding locations to do exhibits in. So our thought was, wow, if we could just sort of control these over a period of number of years, we could bring in special exhibits that would go throughout the UK, and we've ended up with 6 as the concept now, and a new one would come in, and that one would go then to the next location, it would come in, and it would be like a snake going throughout. And that's what we're going to be trying starting next year.
What are other countries that are on your list in the future?
Well, these are all driven heavily by funding available in the country. Just like the UK, that funding comes from people in the UK. And so if there's an interest and the business community wants to get behind it, church community wants to get behind it, then we'll have interest. And so probably our next one will be Seoul, Korea. And that's done in conjunction with some business people who really think that what we're doing could have a big impact there. Singapore, Jakarta, Hong Kong. And then we're now looking in Switzerland. Again, same thing. Group said, I would love to have one of these exhibits in our city, our country, and we're willing to fund it. And so we're seriously looking at Switzerland now. We currently, same situation, have an exhibit when this is running, this show in Germany, in Wittenberg. And we just came out of Augsburg, Germany this year. And then we have a small one in Austria. So again, same thing, it's by imitation, people saying, I think this could really impact our country, our people, and we want to help you bring it in.
Folks, besides this beautiful museum, what has happened and opened the door is these folks have developed a high-tech biblical curriculum to be used in schools. And we're going to show you it's already being used in the public schools of all places in Israel and then in Great Britain, all right? And I'd like to show you a clip from one of their banquets in which their IT director, Jeff Snyder, demonstrated this high-tech biblical curriculum, which is being used in the public schools in Israel and Great Britain right now, okay? You won't believe this, folks. Watch.
When we first thought about the curriculum, we said, okay, we want to make this engaging. We want students to really want to enjoy learning about the Bible. And how can we do that? We thought, most kids have this in their hands these days, or a smartphone. And so we wanted to build the curriculum in a way that was engaging, and it would get down into their hearts more. A way that it's more than just reading a book. It's speaking their language. And so we got with Compedia and we came up with Augmented Reality. And it's been such a fun ride. So if you'll grab your iPads, and I want you to hit the home button at the very bottom. And when you hit that home button, it will bring you to the home page, and there's 2 icons at the bottom. One is an A, and the other one is the B on the side. That B is the lovely app that you've been seeing running on your tables tonight. We actually developed that in-house with the curatorial team, come up with the different facts, and our software development team. But I want you to press that A button, and this is the augmented reality app that Compedia has built for us, integrated with the curriculum. And if you take the book, I need you to lay the book out flat on your table, or if you're going to hold it in your hand, make sure the pages are really flat. And on the very first cover of this page is a list of AR activities. So later tonight, you can look through here and see different activities that are on the different page numbers that it shows here. But I'm going to walk you through a couple activities from the podium. So if you turn to page 29, it's the modern science chapter. And you take your iPad and you point that iPad to it, it's going to activate what we call a digital layer. And this is where augmented reality comes into play. What it has done is it has activated the camera. You know, if you put your hand behind the iPad, you'll see your hand there. It's just the regular camera, but when it sees something that it recognizes, it puts a digital layer on it. And so with this page, it has an introductory video to the modern science chapter. So if you click that green button, it will actually take that page and put it into what's called virtual reality. So you can no longer see your hand behind it. This actually is a feature that we developed in coordination with Compedia, so that once you activate an activity, you can actually put your iPad down on the table and actually interact with it. You could pinch it to zoom. You could pan around with a single finger. And we're going to exit out of this and go back to AR mode. There's a button in the lower left corner. Looks like a book. Just tap that button. That activates the camera again. And I'm going to have you turn to page 35. And in this chapter, which is still part of the modern science chapter, it talks about Galileo and a pendulum and some research that he did with that pendulum. Well, we can actually bring a digital lab to play on the iPad. So when you point at that page, a bubble will show with a pendulum inside it. If you tap that bubble, it will actually pop up a working pendulum. It's in three-dimensional form, so as you move your iPad around, you can actually see all around that pendulum. If you touch the ball on the pendulum and drag and drop it, it'll actually swing just like a regular pendulum will do. And so we have built physics into this working lab. Okay, I'm going to show you just a couple more. If you press the open button, book button again, activates the camera. And I want to demonstrate our maps for you. So this is on page 74. This is in the Abraham chapter. And this map actually shows the path that Abraham went on his journey as God called him out of the city of Ur. So when you point to it, again, a bubble comes up with the map. If you click on that, it will actually pull up an interactive map. So I can, again, with the single finger, pan around. I can pinch to zoom. And I can see, okay, his journey started in the city of Ur. And if I click on that, it actually brings up a box that actually talks about the city of Ur. And you might think, oh, I wonder what the terrain is like. If you click this little eye button on the right side, you can click the satellite view, and that will show you the terrain. And you might say, okay, well, wonder what in today's terms is the countries that Abraham went through. So let's hit that I button again, and let's hit the political map. And so we can see, oh, he actually started in the country of Iraq. And he went all through Iraq and Syria, down into Israel and into Egypt. And I have one more activity I want to show for you. If you turn to the very last page of the book, at the end of each chapter, we actually want to take an evaluation of how much has the student learned out of that chapter. And we also have a way to, when they run this activity, it actually links to a learning management system on the back end, so teachers can actually see how well the class is doing, what they're getting right and what they're having struggles with. So as again, you point the iPad at that page, a game show icon comes up. So we've taken the quizzes and we've built it in kind of a fun game show format. And so this is called Bible Champ. So we're going to start that. And the goal is to get all these dots filled, get all the way through the game show here. At the top, I have 3 hearts. That represents how much life I have. So if I miss a question 3 times, the game's over and I got to start all over again. We also have these lifelines. So at the top left corner is a picture of a book. If I tap that, it'll actually tell me where in the book and where in the Bible I could read more about this question, the topic of this question, so that I could come back and try to answer correctly. Or I have 50-50. If I click that button, it'll take away 2 of the answers that are incorrect, leaving me with 2 answers, a 50-50 chance to get the right one. And so on this question, what book in the Bible tells the stories of Abraham? So I'm going to choose Genesis on this one and hit submit. And good job, we got the right one. So going to continue to the next button, so I'm progressing down here. Who was Abraham's wife? Okay, on this one I'm going to use 50-50. Take away half of the answers there. All right, so I'm left with either Sarah or Rachel. So I'm going to click Sarah. Got that correct. And so the student will continue to do this until they get to the very end and they've completed that. And again, like I say, this records this in the back end so the teacher can see how well the class is doing, re-go over materials, things of that sort. So again, if you look at the very front cover, it lists all the AR activities that's available in this sample book, and have fun playing with those. Thank you so much.
I've seen that biblical curriculum. It's absolutely amazing. How did you get this into Israel, and how did you get this into Great Britain?
Well, we early on started developing the curriculum for a high school level, and in the process of developing it, one of our vendors that's putting the augmented reality element to the curriculum is out of Israel. The mayor of the city that vendor was in saw the curriculum and knew that his students would love it, and so he asked to have the curriculum in his school. So by request, we were not considering it, we weren't looking at it. We had to translate into Hebrew, and the very first year we had 1,400 students going through the curriculum in Israel. The second year went up to 6,000 students, and the third year it was over 100,000 students going through the curriculum with permissions from the Minister of Education for all the schools in Israel.
Carrie, how'd you get it into Great Britain?
They have a course in the school system in the UK called Religious Education, where they teach isms and Hinduism and Buddhism and so forth, and they also have one that deals with the Bible. We brought ours in to see if our piece could be that piece that's taught. It was done in a beta setting, a big success, and now it's been approved for all schools, and rolling out this coming year, it'll be in all the schools, of course way above the beta sites that we used.
Yeah, and you've got many countries in Europe that are really interested in this course. Big question, will we ever have this here in our schools in America?
We are working on a curriculum that would be acceptable in the public schools here in the U.S. It's a matter of not espousing a faith. We are not trying to promote the faith that the Bible espouses. We're just wanting to say, here's this book, we think people ought to know it. It is foundational to this government. And so for us not to know this book is to promote ignorance. And so we believe we will be able to do that. We want to make sure that we're not crossing any legal lines and having review on that. And when we're ready, we'll be working on introducing that here in the U.S.
Carrie, take 30 seconds. What else?
Well, the curriculum that we developed right now was originally designed for 9th grade, as Steve said, and it's being used in Israel 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. We also have a beta site that we've created in testing 2nd grade, which will be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, both in Israel and in the United States, and it's worked extremely well. But it's available today in the States for homeschool, for Christian schools, and that's all. They can go online and look at that today and order it for their kids.
Folks, wouldn't you love to see that here in America? Wouldn't you love to have your children in school seeing this high-tech biblical presentation of the impact and the history of the Bible in America? I mean, this would be just tremendous. Well, this concludes our time together, and I want to say thank you, Steve, and thank you, Jackie, and thank you, Carrie, not only for just coming and sharing this information with us, but the work that you are doing, this dream that you have of creating this Bible museum right here in Washington, D.C. It's just tremendous. And we just thank you for all that you've done, and thank you for being with us. And folks, stick with me. I've got a personal word for you. Folks, the Museum of the Bible opens November 17th. If you can't make it during the opening week, then whenever you travel to Washington, D.C., remember to spend a day at this gorgeous new museum. It'll be an experience that you'll never forget. And pray that this new high-tech Bible curriculum for the public schools will spread all over the world, including right here in the United States. Finally, people coming from around the world, they're going to see a 1,000,000-name wall inside the museum, listing those who say, I too honor the Bible. If you'll give a generous gift of any amount to the museum will engrave and display your name on their 1,000,000-name wall for all to see. To have your name permanently engraved on this wall, just go to themuseumofthebible.org facebook.com/millionnameswall. Then please pray for the Christians in Russia who are experiencing increasing persecution from the government. Hannu Haukka in Finland told me what is happening. Listen.
John, I have received an urgent request from 1,600 evangelical churches in Russia for 1 million Power to Change books. These books were primary tools for leading hundreds of thousands of people to a personal faith in Jesus Christ. As a result, over 2,000 new churches were planted between 2013 and 2016. Now the need for more books is even greater. While the Russian authorities are closing the door on evangelism big time, God has providentially and seemingly miraculously allowed printing presses in Russia to print these books for us. But this opportunity will soon be gone. So I urge you, and I ask for your help right away, to provide 1 million Power to Change books, high-impact tools for evangelism, before the doors in Russia close for good.
Folks, these dear Christians in Russia are being persecuted and urgently need our help. We've raised enough money to provide close to 700,000 Power to Change books. However, as you just heard Hannu say, the Christians in Russia urgently need our help to provide 630,000 more Power to Change books. If you'll help, there are 5 ways you can provide the needed books and help our ministry's outreach. First, if you'll give a gift of $30, you'll provide 45 books. If you give a gift of $100, you'll provide 150 books. A gift of $500 will provide 750 books, and a gift of $1,000 will provide 1,500 books. And your gift of $5,000 will provide 7,500 books. And if you're able, a gift of $50,000 will provide 75,000 books. Hannu has received this emergency request from 1,600 evangelical Christian churches in Russia that he helped start, and they need our help now before the doors close for good. If you wish to help, please call us right now at 1-800-805-3030. That's 1-800-805-3030. And you may call that same number any day this week, 24 hours a day. Or you may go to our website at jashow.org, where we have a secure place for you to give your gift. The need is urgent, and I'll appreciate your help very much.